Good evening and welcome.
Okay, so if you look at the age parlance-wise, by 2023, if I ask anyone here, which is the most common language in our world, it is not Mandarin, it's not English. The most common language we have is currency. Okay, which is the most common language in the universe? Answer is very simple, it's mathematics. 1 + 1 is equal to 2 in the known parts of our universe. So in 2023, internet will exceed currency as the language. So welcome to the digital age, folks. You will not retire. Let me assure you, everyone who's sitting here, including me with some gray hairs and folks who have some gray hair here, we will not retire. We'll keep on learning and working. There will be 3 generations working with you. And you will be finished if you don't collaborate. You will die. And we all use the word collaboration. I mean, I've visited, let me count, 75 to 83 organizations last year, talked to the CHROs. Everybody said collaboration, but do we really collaborate as far as HR is concerned within the HR department? Do we really collaborate? That's a question which we need to ask because we won't be there if we do not collaborate. It's a fact. Internet, data, big data, all these big glossy words are used basically on the thesis of collaboration. So it's very much on the face. We don't collaborate, we are finished. And these are the observations which we have. The first one is pretty obvious and simple. HR is doing time-consuming tasks, appraisals. Why? Why are we doing appraisals? How do we know that employee? Appraisals is a job of the business unit. I mean, in sales, we try to visit so many organizations during February, March, April, May. They say, no, we have appraisal time. How can you put your work on appraisals? Appraisals is of the business unit. The second important point is succession planning. We are extremely weak in succession planning because nobody wants to write a mail that my colleague is bad. Nobody wants to write anything which is bad. So in spite of having the best softwares, I mean, you have the PeopleSofts of the world, the SAPs of the world, the Oracles of the world, nobody writes a bad review. So how? And if somebody doesn't get a promotion, what happens? Dear HR is the villain because everybody says, well, we did a bit, but there's a bell curve and we abuse a bit of the bell curve and we say, no, but tell HR. That's the problem. Okay? Now, another thing which we saw, the third point, HR executes all the decisions on verbose. Nobody wants to write it. Arey, wo kharab hai yaar, I don't want to promote him. So white hai manus, nako. I'm just going on to Marathi. And they wouldn't write on a mail. So when we talk about HR impact, are we really doing that impact or is business driving us? Because HR is the spirit of the organization. And I mean, if I take a poll count here out of all the dignitaries, how many are gunning for the CEO position? It would be very few. Why is that? Okay. Another thing, failures are actually looked down on. How can you collaborate? How can you innovate if you don't take failures in your stride? Not possible. Here there's a difference. I am not talking about mistakes. Yes, mistakes repeated again should be punished. But failures, not exactly. Failures, we need failures. We need people to try out. How do we innovate? I mean, we've got, in Pune itself, we've got about 16 organizations, mid-sized companies, large companies, having innovation as the theme of the year. Everybody wants to innovate. Arvind here is a guru in innovation. He headed Reliance Center for Innovation, and he's a big boss in Symbiosis. But do we really support failures? One of my mentors is Professor Paraksha, the person who has actually created Midas. pardon my language, he has set up a day called Screw Up Saturdays, where all entrepreneurs, all managers come and they talk about their failures. Actually, it is, pardon my words, it's Fuck Up Saturdays. Sorry for being unparliamentary, but it is Fuck Up Saturdays. We use these words, but we do not speak in public. So my apologies for using these words. But there is that man who keeps one day where we actually talk about the failures. Do we really do it in our organization? So that's a challenge. And if we do not do this, we will not lead in the industry which we belong to. Okay, I'll just go through quickly. The first point is extremely important, MOOCs. MOOC stands for Massive Open Online Courses. Do you know that 25% of Ivy League colleges in the US and in Europe have webinars and courses free? Absolutely free. All we need to do is register. We may not get a degree or certification, but somehow we have not yet connected to MOOCs. Mid-management. This is one area where we really need to work hard. Employee engagement, again, a hugely abused word here because everybody talks about employee engagement, employee happiness, and all we get is posters pasted on the walls of the organization, balloons going all across, there is Rangoli competition. But really, is that employee engagement? I mean, seriously? I don't think so. And what is happening is, if business continues to drive HR the way it is driving HR, do we really make that impact in the digital age? The answer is no. The future of learning for any employee is not on job. It will be on simulation. It will be by gaming. So learning and vision communication will be by gamification. That's the future. You cannot give reams of stuff to a new joinee. And the golden hour of an employee who joins the organization is 3 days. Just like we talk about the golden hour of an accident victim. A golden hour is 1 hour of an accident victim where, they have a problem. They pass away or pass out if not treated. An employee does that, and the golden hour is 3 days. And the last, not the least, seamlessness in knowledge management. Again, a very abused word. Knowledge management tends to be the realm of IT, which is not so. IT is just a business enabler. And the first department which the IT should enable is HR. Somewhere the connect is not there. IT drives management, knowledge management. Extremely incorrect. And I'm putting it very mildly. Because I've used one or two abusive words. I don't want to use it on a Friday. So anyway, so that comes down to my last slide. This is the salesy slide, what we do. I don't want to delve more on it. We've kept the brochures there. But this is our sweet spot. We transform organization cultures. And this is not by balloons and drawing rangolis. We do not do it. We use modern techniques by which we do it. We use the technique of theory of constraints. We use effectuation as a theory. And we have 3-4 more paradigms on which we actually do this. And another USP which we have is, if we come into your organization, we will number tag our outcomes. Because what happens is, training is again an abused word. You have a training calendar, you fill it up, it doesn't work because it becomes love and fresh air. Training is not your solution. Somewhere where concrete risk reward is, that's the solution. And we institutionalize the transformation. So this is one slide where we wanted to talk about our company. I'll give it to Dr. Hetal, my better